This is ABC15 Mornings.
A second impeachment.
They sought above all else to seize control of our government in the name of Donald Trump.
The goal next week to prevent another riot, lowering the age requirement.
When I heard 65, I was really pretty happy.
More Arizonans can now receive the COVID vaccine. Close the laptop and head back to class, a major decision made by one of the Valley's largest school districts.
With all that sugar coming in, that puts them on a roller coaster for wanting to eat more.
Are kids becoming unhealthy during the pandemic?
Banking information and Social Security and all of that.
A warning if you're unemployed. The new way of hiring has led to a surge in job scans.
Adaptive story time is creating an environment that all individuals can participate and have fun during that story time.
Bonding with your kids while helping instill a love of reading. The 25th season of your Arizona Coyotes skates into Glendale tonight.
We have another life-changing jackpot for you.
Another night, another rollover, and another chance for 2 giant lottery jackpots.
And that means we can continue to dream together. Good morning to you on this Thursday. Thank you for starting your day with ABC 15 Mornings. Kaylee O'Kelly here in studio. Nick Saletti is social distancing from the newsroom. Have you bought a ticket yet to play?
I was just going to say, that reminded me, well, A, I need to check my numbers, but obviously I need to get some more because nobody won, right? We're all in the same boat.
Exactly, we have a chance.
Got to play to win. Hey, let's talk about that most accurate forecast on this Thursday. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo is social distancing from home today. Let's talk a little weather, Iris.
Let's do it because we've been winning when it comes to our weather here this week. It's been gorgeous so far. We've had highs in the upper 60s, but we are about to kick it up another notch as temperatures climb into the 70s, and we're talking the warmest weather of the year so far. So today, more than even just the last several days, you're going to want layers because it's going to warm up faster. We are starting out the day with temperatures in the 30s and 40s, not seeing any freezes at this point like we were seeing yesterday, so it's not as cold, but it's still pretty chilly outside. But notice we're already climbing into the mid-60s by as early as lunchtime. So a quick warm-up today with a high of 75 degrees. I think you're definitely going to want to roll the windows down on your drive home today. Today, 75, and then tomorrow we add another degree, reaching a high of 76. And it's going to stay warm through the weekend, but I'm tracking some changes, and I've introduced some rain chances into our 7-day forecast. So we're going to talk about that storm system in just a few minutes. Hey, Chelsea, you've got an update on our morning drive here on this Thursday.
Hey Iris, yeah, that's exciting. And here's the update right now with the accident log group traffic maps. We have 3 different crashes out on the roads. 2 of them are pretty slow. Let's look at the North Valley first, give you some good news to start the day. If you travel on I-17, the 101, Carefree Highway 303, things look good there. East Valley overall, you're still seeing mostly green for spots like the 202s, I-10, even 202 South Mountain, State Route 347 into and out of Maricopa. US 60 westbound though, at Higley, a crash is reported there. I'm not seeing a huge slowdown yet, but if that changes, I'll let you know. Where we are seeing the slowdowns is on the opposite side of town. So if you're traveling from the west side, I-10 eastbound near 43rd Avenue, we have a crash there. Also I-17 southbound at 7th Ave, that one's off to the left shoulder. So you can stick to the main lanes of I-10, take you around to the split. Take a look at our ADOT cam. If you do travel on I-10 eastbound at 43rd Avenue, not only will you see activity off to the right shoulder in the sea of brakes, but also 43rd Avenue on-ramp is closed, so use 35th or 51st Avenues instead.
Chelsea, thank you. For the first time in U.S. history, a president has been impeached twice. The House voting to impeach President Trump for inciting an insurrection. So what does happen next as a result? Our Mark Thompson is following this for us this morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Kaylee. President Trump, the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. That made history. Also, the vote itself in the House yesterday also made more history, being the quickest impeachment on record. Typically, there are months of investigation and hearings before a vote, but Trump's rally and his supporters who stormed the Capitol was very public. This is also the most bipartisan impeachment among lawmakers in modern history. 10 House Republicans joined Democrats in voting to impeach President Trump on the charge of incitement of insurrection.
With a heavy heart and clear resolve, I will vote yes on these articles of impeachment.
A vote to impeach will further fan the flames of partisan division.
And the articles of impeachment will now go before the Senate, who will decide to either convict or acquit. And still no timetable exactly on when that will happen. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that he will not bring senators back early, so the trial would not start until after President Trump has left office. President-elect Joe Biden says that the Senate should definitely move forward with impeachment, but also tackle some of the most urgent business right now, including pandemic relief. So we'll have to see how this all plays out in the weeks and months ahead. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC 15 Arizona. Back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you. Security heightened in our nation's capital. Thousands, tens of thousands of National Guard troops expected there by the time we do get to Inauguration Day. The exact number to be deployed is still being worked out by the Secret Service. Many, we're told, will be armed. Increased security measures will also take place at our state capitol here in Arizona, following the FBI's warning of possible armed protests.
6:05, the COVID vaccine now available to more Arizonans. People aged 65 and older will soon be eligible to get the vaccine. The state adopting the CDC's recommendation to expand vaccinations. The age group, that means an additional 750,000 Arizonans will be eligible to register to get the vaccine starting Tuesday. This is only in the counties that are currently in Phase 1B, which does include Maricopa County. The State Department of Health Services says appointments for the second shots of the vaccine will open for February on Tuesday. If you've already received your first dose at State Farm Stadium, you will be notified about when to register for another appointment. State Farm Stadium can do up to 300 vaccinations an hour, and the governor's office just announcing another vaccination site will open at Phoenix Municipal Stadium on February 1st. It'll begin taking appointments on Tuesday.
New this morning, Moderna having some trouble here finding kids for COVID-19 vaccine trials. The lack of 12 to 17-year-old volunteers could potentially delay this age group from getting vaccinated. Although kids typically don't have severe symptoms, they can still pass it on to others. And getting kids vaccinated will be crucial for schools to return completely back to normal. Moderna says it needs at least 3,000 participants to get FDA approval.
Well, doctors at 5 Valley Health Systems say our hospital situation has become even more dire. Leaders at Dignity Health, Banner Health, Mayo Clinic, Valleywise, and Honor Health say they are working together to manage the surge of COVID patients. They're concerned that there will come a point that healthcare needs will surpass available resources.
Regardless of what the various messages are from a myriad of government officials, whether it be at the federal, state, county, local level, personally, if you wanted to keep your friends and family safe, indoor dining at this time is not a good idea.
The doctors warn rationing care could become an option if conditions get worse.
APS customers, today is your last chance to be heard if you do have opinions about the company's proposed $169 million rate hike. Now, APS originally asked for a $184 million increase, but lowered that number back in November. And this is the direct result of a Corporation Commission report, which showed APS potentially over-earned millions of dollars and didn't do a good enough job educating customers about rate changes after its last rate hike. That was back in 2017. The Corporation Commission will take comment over the phone. That's going to happen from 10 o'clock this morning until 12:30 this afternoon. And we have put the details on how to get in on this. It's up right now at ABC15.com. Up next here on ABC 15 Mornings, the House voted to impeach President Donald Trump. So now what? We are going to talk live with a presidential historian.
Plus, antibacterial face masks, are they worth the extra money? We're letting the experts weigh in.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
Welcome back, everyone. Chelsea here. Happy Friday Eve. We're almost to the weekend. One more day to go. Let's look at our Accident Law Group traffic maps. If you need to hit the road right now, desert drive times actually look okay for I-10, US 60, and I-17. I point out those 3 freeways because those are the three that have crashes. We also have one on Loop 101 in the eastbound direction. Once you get closer to 51st Avenue, hearing that a car ran into a wall there. So you're going to see some slowing before you even get to I-17. So factor in 5 to 10 extra minutes at this point. You can always use the surrounding surface streets, drop down and use Union Hills instead. East Valley, all green flows, even with the small crash out there for US 60 westbound at Higley Road. We also have that crash remaining I-17 southbound around the Durango curve at 7th Avenue off left. I-10 eastbound 43rd Avenue. It is very slow with all the activity off to the right shoulder. Take a look at our ADOT cam. The left side of your screen is the eastbound traffic making your way into downtown Phoenix. You're going to need 20 extra minutes at this point. You may want to use even McDowell or Van Buren to get by instead, or even another freeway, but you will make it through, and we're going to enjoy some awesome temps, which is why we need to check in with meteorologist Iris Hermosillo right now. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Chelsea. I know you're going to keep us posted on the roads. As we talk about that weather, yeah, we are in for a big warm up. You're going to notice a difference in those temperatures, especially by the afternoon. A quicker warm up as high pressure dominates and strengthens, bringing these warmer days our way. The warmest weather of the year so far. Just so you know, we've only made it as high as 71 this year. We're going to add several degrees to that today and into the weekend too. But I'm also watching some rain chances now in our valley forecast for next week. So I introduced those rain chances as new data has come in showing that we may see a chance. We're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. But first, as you get ready to step outside, it's 6:13. Temperatures right now in the 30s and 40s around the valley. But I'm not seeing any freezes like we started out the day with yesterday. It's 35 in Maricopa, so it is cold. But again, not freezing like yesterday. It's 39 in Chandler, 39 in Glendale and Peoria. You're right there too. We're at 40 degrees in Deer Valley, 38 our temperature in Mesa, but that's one of the cooler spots within the immediate Phoenix metro. Also Laveen down to 37 and the Santan Valley waking up to 38 degrees here this morning. Of course, it's colder up north, but Flagstaff not in the teens, in the 20s instead here this morning. Still cold enough for those heavier coats, the scarves, the hats, all of it this morning as we are down to 22 degrees there, 28 in Show Low, and we're waking up to 50 in Payson, 53 at Lake Havasu. But here's how quickly we warm today. So for Phoenix, we're going to go from the low 40s, which is I think as low as we're going to go after dropping into the 30s the last few mornings. I don't think we'll see that today. So low 40s in the 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock hour. Then we're climbing into the 90s and into the 50s by 9 a.m. and into that 10 o'clock hour too. We'll see the 60s by lunchtime, and we're talking mid-60s by then. So again, a quicker warm-up, then 70s this afternoon with that high of 75 degrees. I think we'll see that in that 4 o'clock hour. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Some clouds will drift in, but like the last few days, they'll be fairly thin clouds providing more of that filtered sunshine, and again, we're staying dry. So if you are venturing outside, you notice that quicker warm-up, so just be mindful of that. Our burn time's still at about 45 minutes, air quality still in the moderate range, and so is our pollen count for juniper. Highs around the valley. A few neighborhoods may bump up to 76. That does include Gilbert and Mesa, also Surprise. Otherwise, it's about 74 to 75 in most valley cities. And look at how much warmer it's going to be in Yuma, a high of 81 degrees there. Mid-70s for Lake Havasu, and highs will reach the 50s to 60s in northern Arizona. Again, high pressure dominates. So the next few days, highs will be in the mid-70s. 75 today, 76 tomorrow, and 76 Saturday. Then 75 on Sunday. So the mid-70s stick around through the weekend, but here go those changes. Tuesday and Wednesday, more breezes and a chance for rain, and also cooler temperatures. We'll talk more about that storm in the next half hour.
Thank you. Wednesday, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump for a second time. The Senate trial likely won't begin until after President Trump leaves office. The Senate is on recess now. They will not be reconvening until Tuesday. So this morning, presidential historian and ASU professor Brooks Simpson joins us, all to help us make sense of what is happening next. If they do a trial, which it sounds like they will, when would this happen and how does it happen?
The trial itself might commence the last day of the Trump administration, but we get underway in earnest once President Biden is inaugurated. It could take several weeks, depending upon how much of the defense the outgoing president, the former president, wants to put up. But we should see a result within the end of the first month of the Biden administration.
We know that there's been some talk about the first 100 days in office to allow the president-elect some time to put his cabinet together. Any likelihood that we would see a delay in this?
No, there's no likelihood at all. The Democratic leadership, once it takes control of the Senate, will set the calendar and will make sure that it gets the business of the nation done at the same time that it addresses its impeachment trial obligations.
We've heard a lot of Republicans say that this is symbolic in nature. A lot of people talking about what's happening right now, blocking an opportunity for the president to run again for president in 2024. Can you speak to that?
Well, first of all, Americans value symbols a great deal. Look at how we revere the United States flag, and I'm sure Republicans with their flag lapel pins value that symbol. So as a symbolic action, it's nevertheless quite important. It will forever mark Donald Trump as the first president to be impeached twice during his term in office. In many other ways, though, it's something that I think Democrats feel that they have to do to hold the president accountable for his behavior during the period since his defeat in November, especially in inciting insurrectionary mobs to assault the United States Capitol on January 6th, 2021.
There are arguments this morning that the impeachment process this time around was rushed. What do you say about that?
In 1868, the House acted in exactly the same way in impeaching Andrew Johnson. That some people might think it's rushed is only because we've become used to the notion of a lengthy hearing by the Judiciary Committee. But in this case, the facts are out there for all to judge whether they think the president indeed committed this act.
What if the president decides to pardon himself?
Well, that's interesting territory because that would put him in being a judge in his own case. And while I think we might anticipate the president considering that move, and maybe even doing it on January 20th in the morning, I think that would face legal challenge, and that's uncharted territory for us. So we'll have to see what happens.
It's all really interesting. I mean, to be a presidential historian right now, for you to have studied this for so many years, to see what's happening, and now the unrest on social media, what do you think about the temperament of where we are in this moment in time?
I think we're in a heated moment this time, but I think that excitement is magnified by social media, that you tend to hear the loudest voices in the room, so to speak. And you don't hear from a lot of other people who are eschewing social media or acting in other ways. So we'll see what happens, but I think Republicans actually have a chance, if they understand it this way, of putting Donald Trump behind them, because President Trump has been the elephant in the room for the GOP.
Brooke Simpson, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Make it a great day.
You too.
There, good to hear from an expert on this. 6:20. Coming up, new concerns from doctors about your kids' health during the pandemic, the unexpected consequence of virtual learning. And who wants to be a millionaire? Times 640. Those lotto jackpots just keep growing and growing. We're breaking down all the details for you coming up.
Thanks for watching ABC15 Arizona, streaming 24/7 on Roku and these streaming devices.
624, remote learning and staying at home has led to more screen time and unhealthy habits for kids. Some doctors are now worried about kids gaining weight. It's January and most kids are learning remotely.
They are on their device for class and they're on their device for entertainment. So it's definitely increased the amount of screen time that they're getting, both for good and bad.
The bad? A lot more snacking.
Lots of snacks. I think it's out of boredom. They always want, hey, can we go get a snack? Can we take a drive and get a milkshake?
Kids are also doing less activity now that they don't physically go into school.
My kids were never really device kids before all this started. They love being outside. So they're used to riding bikes and being on the trampoline and playing with the basketball hoop.
This lack of physical activity has experts concerned. Parents should think about the types of food they bring into their homes.
We talk about having an entire family adopt healthier habits and make healthier choices and set up a healthier home food environment.
Stay away from sugary drinks because they cause hunger.
With all that sugar coming in, that puts them on a roller coaster for wanting to eat more and be hungry more often.
As expected, you might see some changes in your kids' behavior.
Asking kids how they're feeling about things, how they're dealing with these new stresses and changes that they may not, particularly like or care for, and really providing them with some support with some other coping skills other than turning to food.
Well, if you're noticing some negative changes in how your child is dealing with food, you might want to speak to your doctor.
Well, more companies are selling face masks that claim to fight off the effects of COVID. Under Armour and Burberry selling masks that feature microbial technology they say fights the virus, but those tests haven't yet been confirmed by physicians. And doctors, a lot of them, are worried that this could give people a false sense of security. Instead, they recommend people look for other things when choosing a face mask.
Sometimes they're double or even you'll see triple layered masks. So those in general are just going to be a thicker mask that's going to prevent more from coming your way and more from leaving you as the wearer.
Something else worth remembering here, regularly wash your mask.
Ballet Arizona is going virtual once again to bring back its free community performances. Ballet Under the Stars. The live stream will be available on Ballet Arizona's YouTube page on January 23rd. It starts at 5 o'clock at night. There's also going to be a live online chat so you can get to know the dancers, and they are super talented. Next at 6:30, will there be another teacher sick out? More decisions being made by governing boards across the valley, and the debate gets louder over how students should be learning.
Also, new this morning, it's a warning about remote job interviews, especially so if your identity is stolen.